Call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Miss Bronsell being absent, and she's off cruising someplace. Good for her. We'll open the meeting with a moment of silence that you can observe as you so choose. Thank you. Now if you'd stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and we appreciate everybody being here. Dr. Rand, do we have any recognitions or awards tonight?
We do not, Mr. President.
Any introductions?
Yes, sir. We do have some introductions this evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Tonight, I would like to introduce you to Ernie Bainbridge. He is the new assistant principal at Hubenack Elementary. He's a December 2008 graduate of the University of Houston with a bachelor's degree in art. He received his master's in administration from Lamar University and has 9 years of experience, including 6 years of teaching and 3 years as an assistant principal. Congratulations. Next, I would like to introduce you to the new principal at Adolphus Elementary, Stacy Borman, who is joined tonight by her husband, Scott, and her daughter, Ansley, if you would stand as well. Stacy is a 1989 graduate of Northern Arizona University with a bachelor's degree in education. She received a master's in administration from the University of Houston. She has 18 years of experience in education, including teaching, ESL facilitator, and assistant principal. Congratulations. Next, we have the new assistant principal at George Ranch High School, Jessie Ellenstein. She's a December 2003 graduate of the University of Nebraska with a bachelor's degree in family and consumer science education. She received her master's in educational administration from Concordia University. She has 14 years of experience, including 10 of teaching, 2 as an academic interventionist, and 2 years as an assistant principal.
Thank you.
The new assistant principal at Reading Junior High is Stephen Janacek. He's an August 2005 graduate of Texas A&M University with a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. He received a master's degree in administration from Lamar University. He has 10 years of teaching experience. Congratulations.
Class of 67.
Dickinson Elementary's new assistant principal is Stephanie Kolochny, who is joined tonight by her husband, Rob. Stephanie is a May 1996 graduate of the University of Houston, Victoria, with a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. She received her master's in administration and supervision from the University of Houston of Victoria as well. She has 20 years of education experience, including 15 years of teaching and 5 years as a reading facilitator. The new Director of Curriculum Instruction is Katie Marchena Roldan. Katie is a 2001 graduate of Luther College with a bachelor's degree in elementary education. She has 16 years of experience, including 6 years of teaching, 6 years as a campus instructional technology specialist, and 4 years as an instructional coordinator. The new assistant principal at Briscoe Junior High is Cassandra McCann. She's a 2011 graduate of the University of Texas Pan Am with a bachelor's degree in math. In 2015, she received a master's degree in educational administration from Lamar University. In addition to private sector experience, she has 6 years of teaching experience. And our last introduction for the evening is the new principal of Lamar Consolidated High School, Dr. Kay Williams. Dr. Williams is a May 91 graduate from Lamar University with a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. In 1993, she received her master's in kinesiology from Lamar University and her doctorate in 2003 in psychology from Southern California University. She has 24 years of teaching and administrative experience in Port Arthur and Spring Branch ISD. Congratulations. Thank you.
Good seeing you again. Congratulations. Well.
All right, do we have any audience to patrons?
There are none.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the minutes of June 13th, 2017 regular board meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 13th, 2017 regular board meeting.
Second to that. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Any board member reports?
I'll jump in.
Unaccustomed as you are.
I know. You'd think it would have been a slow month, but between Lunches of Love packing their 2 millionth lunch and the common threads this past weekend of Hope Across the Brazos, it's been a very busy couple of weeks for our kids, helping our kids between Adrian Gray and Jill Davis. Both of those ladies and their volunteers are amazing. I went to both functions, rolled up my sleeves and helped, and parents and kids are so appreciative, and I just thank these people for what they do for our families and students of LCISD.
Yeah, that was a great event, and Jill Dubin found out what I could do. I was there and standing around. She said, "Go out there and find me some boxes and make some trash cans." Yes, ma'am.
She puts everybody to work, that's
Everybody,
for sure.
Everybody. All right, we have one other report. Dr. Harrell, if you would hold up that binder. That is the draft final report of the audit on the school district. The audit committee received that yesterday afternoon, and we're supposed to read that and have our comments by next week sometime. So I will give you the preview of it. The preview is we have a great school district, but they can't understand how we've done so much with so little. So
It's a secret.
But they're laying a good path forward for us, and everybody's going to have some opportunities, I think, in that. Did you want to comment any more to that?
No, I just got a lot of reading.
All right, thank you. No other reports? If not, Dr. Randall?
None other than thanking the board again. As you saw, we've been real busy hiring administrators during the summer, and we've got one more that we are finishing up right now, an assistant principal for a position. So we're in really good shape, and we appreciate the board working with us on it.
Outstanding. Thank you, Dr. Randall. This time, we'll open the public hearing on the bond referendum recommendations at 6:38. I believe we have a brief presentation.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. When the Citizens Bond Advisory Committee was last here in June, they gave a quick overview of their process. I'm going to recap that for some folks in the audience, and then we'll get to the public commentary. But the 2017 bond proposal was created by a 61-member Citizens Bond Advisory Committee that was made up of 15 trustee appointees, 28 community members, 8 campus administrators, and 10 students. The role of the committee was to develop a recommendation for a 2017 bond referendum to be transmitted to the Board of Trustees for its consideration. There were 6 meetings of the committee starting in April. On April 3rd, it reviewed the expectations, the master plan principles, and received staff presentations on the initial needs assessment, demographic reports, financial expectations, and where we were with the 2014 bond. On April 10th, the committee created a Q&A list of approximately 100 questions, which the district answered in terms of how things are with the 2017 bond and what they can and can't include. The committee added potential projects by each table. There were about 6 to 8 tables each meeting where they broke into groups and talked about different items. On April 24th, they reviewed the district needs assessment. On May 1st, they met three times in May. On the 1st, discussed both the district and the committee recommendations, and a survey was created to go through where they stood on each of the items that were currently in the proposal. On May 8th, they viewed those results and considered each recommendation for inclusion, and they ultimately made their decision on May 15th and finalized a recommendation for the board. Now, the initial recommendation they received from the district was for $396,621,000. They added items to provide additional equity among some of the existing campuses, and they removed the orchestra rooms after discussion and voting on that. So the total, where we left off in June, was $439,951,000. You'll see there with schools and land, that's approximately 72% of the bond proposal, and the remaining being for technology, interior, exterior improvements, and some upgrades to athletics, fine arts, transportation, and food service. That is a nutshell. If you have questions now, we'd be happy to help answer those, either myself or the facilities team, or we can move forward with comments from the public and come back when it's an action item on the table.
Any comments from the board before we get comments from the audience?
Do we bring up about the band hall?
We will
addition?
get to that.
Okay.
Do we have any comments from the audience?
Yes. The first one is Nikki Doby.
I'm sorry.
That was free if you wanted to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Then the next one is Roy Clover. Okay. There are none then.
All right, thank you. If no further comments, we will close the public hearing on the bond referendum at 6:42. At this point in time, we'll open the public hearing on the proposed application for optional flexible school day program.
Good evening. This is a update on our optional flexible school day program. It is a joint effort of our 1621 program, which is offered in the morning and in the afternoon, and in partnership with all 5 comprehensive high schools. Our night school is a flexible program that we offer for 4 hours, Monday through Thursday night and on Saturdays, for students with extenuating circumstances. But what it does, it provides them with the opportunity to complete their high school requirements to graduate with a high school diploma. We use alternative methodology for instruction, and a lot of it is done via our Compass, and now that we're moving to Edgenuity for their courses. And we do have 3 teachers certified teachers on site at night school to support the students' efforts as well. They do provide the students with instruction and the skills necessary to become successful and prepare them for post-secondary opportunities. We served 76 students served in 2000, it should be 2015-17. We lag a year behind. If you see, we had 36 graduates in 15-16. So a year ago this time, once we got through summer graduation in August of 2016, we graduated 36. Our current year, 16-17, is still pending because we have summer graduation coming up August 31st, and we have several students on schedule to graduate that evening as well to complete this year. It's been very successful. We did not operate Operation Graduation Night School through the summer months. They went to our summer school sessions housed at Lamar High School. Okay?
Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions from the
Thank you.
board? We have any comments from the public?
Okay.
We have no comments from the public. We will close the public hearing on the proposed application for optional flexible school day program at 6:44. At this time, we're going to establish a consent agenda. There are a number of items on here I think we can include in that, and there are several we will need to pull. For the consent agenda, item A1, we need to pull B1, B2, B3, and B4, B5 on the consent agenda, B6, B7, C1, and C2. For the consent agenda items, we have A1, B5, B6, B7, C1, and C2. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Do we have a second to that? Mr. Hubenak, any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. Thank you. Item B1. B1A, we have a report on the budget update.
Good evening. This is our second workshop on the 2017-18 budget. We will cover the required budgets that the Board of Trustees must approve on an annual basis. Those are general fund debt service and child nutrition funds. We will also talk about truth and taxation requirements, and you will need to vote on the date of the meeting that we will officially discuss and vote on the budget for 2017-18 and the tax rate. And then also you will vote tonight on the rate that we will publish in our truth and taxation notices. Starting with the general fund revenues. Our total revenue budget for the year will be $261.194 million. Local revenues of $160.551 million represent 61.5% of our total operating revenues. State revenues total $97.718 million, or 37.4% of our estimated revenue. And federal revenues complete that picture at $2.925 million, or a little bit over 1% of estimated revenues. With respect to property value growth, our values this year increased by 5.51% over 2016 values as of the date of certification last year. And that compares, as you see, at 9.43% in 2016, 11.43% in 2015, and so on. We've made adjustments to we received two different reports from the Central Appraisal District. One is the completely certified values, and then there's a second report of values that are still under review by the ARB. In the value category that's still under review, we have $307.574 million in freeze-adjusted taxable value that represents a little over 1,200 accounts. The value that we are using for budgeting is the amount that's been certified by the appraisal district at $13.848 billion. Our current year taxes are estimated at $155.372 million, and the values were certified on July 21st. You'll see a calculation of that $155.372 million in just a second. We're budgeting delinquent tax collections at $1.6 million and penalty and interest collections at $900,000. Our total taxes are $157.872 million. This is the calculation, a comparative 16-17 versus 17-18. And down at the bottom right, you'll see the $155.372 million. We're using a 98.5% collection rate, and frozen taxes are a little bit over $13.7 million this year. This is our revenue summary. You'll see that by far property taxes are our greatest area of revenue, and state aid would be the second largest category at a little bit over $87 million. So our total revenue budget is $261.194 million. Changes in revenues since our last workshop. We have a slight increase of $262,801. You'll see that we adjusted tax revenues downward due to the certification of values. We increased state aid due to our new instructional facilities allotment increase due to the legislative session, as well as an increase in our transportation allotment. You'll see down there a few other categories where we've adjusted our estimate for interest earnings and also our facility rental and a few other small items. And that completes the revenue picture. Our expenditure budget is also $261.194 million, with payroll costs, including benefits, of $219.5 million roughly. Professional services at almost $24 million, or your second largest category of expenditures. Since the last meeting, we've had a decrease in expenditures of almost $4 million. We finalized our salary and benefit budget, and we were able to reduce the budget by $1.4 million in that category. We've also taken out our projection or our addition of growth positions, and we've decided that we will add those as needed throughout the year. And the other biggest category of decrease is we sold the land in front of a piece of land for right-of-way in front of George Ranch High School for a little over $810,000 to TxDOT, and those funds need to be deposited into our bond fund, because that's where the funds came from that we spent to buy that land. So we are moving some expenditures from the general fund budget that qualify as bond fund expenditures in the amount of $810,482. Your big ticket items this year, salaries, of course, right at $185 million. Benefits and other personnel allowances, $34.5 million. Utilities, a little over $8 million. Another large area would be technology, where we have a lot of software maintenance and licenses, so that's $4.16 million. And our CAD and tax collection fees are right at $1.5 million. So as we're reporting at this time a balanced budget, we will be continuing to look at our expenditure and revenue budgets and adjust as necessary, but we feel like this is close. With respect to the debt service fund, we have revenues of $55.691 million, predominantly property taxes, estimated at $52.836 million. The bulk of that would be our current year levy of a little over $52 million, and then delinquent tax estimate of $550,000. We do have some state hold harmless aid of a little over $1 million, and we're using some of that fund's fund balance, which contains some capitalized interest of $1.7 million. This recaps some of the same things with a little bit of extra detail. We also have paying agent fees that we budget for in the amount of $95,000. The tax rate needed to support this fund is 35 cents, which is the current rate. With respect to the tax rate, you can see our tax rate history here. This will be the 7th consecutive year of $1.39005, so $1.39. Same breakdown, 35 cents for INS and a little over $1.04 for our M&O fund. We're proposing the same tax rate as in 2016 for 2017. We've calculated our effective tax rate at a little over $1.37 and our rollback at a little over $1.42. We are recommending that the board meeting date to discuss and vote on budget be August the 17th, which is our regular board meeting. And also, we need to have you all vote on the combined tax rate. With respect to the Child Nutrition Fund, which is the third fund that you all are required to adopt an official budget for, we have an estimated balanced budget of $14.1 million for 2017-18. The revenues are generated from breakfast and lunch sales and also federal reimbursements. The expenditures are the typical ones, as you saw in the general fund, with payroll and benefits being a little over $6.6 million and supplies and materials being right at $7 million. So that concludes my report on our budget preparation for the year. And so all that's left to do is to vote on the two items.
Y'all have any questions for Ms. Ludwig before we move on? Yes.
First of all, thank you. I know that a couple months ago, this looked really scary. It looks a lot better now.
Yes.
But just because I don't quite understand it, although our property tax revenue increased by 5.5%, we got a decrease of revenue because it wasn't as much as it was last year. Is that about right?
Our values increased by the values, not the tax revenues. Our
Right.
values increased by 5.51%. And are you looking at the page?
So the first page I'm looking at is 3, where it talks about the values that increased of 5.5%. And then the next page I'm comparing it to is page 5, where it says that we got a decrease in property tax revenue.
From workshop 1 to, this is workshop 2, so it's between the two workshops, and the values decreased, so the tax revenue dollars decreased. So that's the tax revenue decrease between the two presentations.
It was actual, what the projected at that last workshop versus what we actually received.
Right,
Oh, I
originally,
see
we
what
were
you're
looking at,
So this is
I think
comparing a
close to-
budget that you showed us prior to.
yes.
Oh, I
So
got
we
you.
were, our growth rate was closer to 7% at the, like in April of this year, but now it's
Okay.
at 5.5, so that's
I
where that
understand.
decrease came from.
And I'm just going to make a comment. I'm thoroughly impressed that while we apparently had to decrease our salary budget, we still gave our teachers, our staff a raise. So
Right.
thank you.
Right. So,
Any questions from the board? If not, we'll move to page 19, which is the approval of the date for the public meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve that date for the public meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve August 17th, 2017 as the date for the public meeting to discuss the budget and the proposed tax rate.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There are none. Thank you. On page 20, we'll fill in the blanks. M&O it would be 1.04005. INS would be 0.35 for the total of 1.39005.
yes.
Entertain a motion to approve the tax rate to be published in the notice of public hearing.
I'll make a motion to approve the tax rate of 1.39.
Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
She gets sleepless.
Oh,
At this point, we move to the consider designation of Texas Association of School Boards delegate and alternate to the 2017 Association of School Boards. You need to fill in the blank here. Ms. Danziger has graciously volunteered to take on that role again unless somebody else would like to usurp that position. If not,
And I like it. That's what's so weird.
It's a win.
That's awesome. It's a win-win.
if not, and Mr. Hubenak has agreed to be thrown into the fray as the alternate. So would I entertain a motion? I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a
Designate
motion,
Pete.
Mr. President.
I'll second that motion.
No hesitation. Ms. Robertson, Dr. Harrell, the motion and the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. Thank you. The next item is the consider approval of nomination of candidate for position of the Texas Association of School Board Board of Directors. Do we have anyone's name we'd like to fill in that slot? I didn't think so. If not, there will be no action taken on that item. Next item on page 23, consider adoption of order calling for a bond election. We need to fill in the blank here, and the final number, including the addition of the orchestra rooms that the board came to consensus on the other night. What will be our final number that we would go with?
445.
Somebody quickly at 439,951 and 550000.
It's,
$445,451,000.
445. Say that again, please.
445,451,000.
That's it. Jim?
Did we check that? Not that I know.
We got thumbs up from the financial guys.
All right, okay.
All right, give it to me one more time so I can read it out so everybody hears it.
$445,451,000.
All right. I'd like to have a motion to approve the order calling for bond election on November 7th, 2017, in the sum of $445,451,000.
I'll make the motion that we order calling a bond election for November 7th for $445,451,000.
Do you have a second to that?
I'll second.
Any further discussion on my motion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. Thank you. The motion carries. I believe that completes all of our action items. We have a couple of information items, Advise Texas. Any questions on that?
Is this
Well,
year 3?
I want to thank four. I think it is. But that has really provided some additional assistance for working with our kids at Terry High School and working with the A&M group.
All right, thank you. Holswell Center update. We had a kind of a minimal update in here, and I would like Ms. Pope to say a little bit more about the Holsworth Center. They have been working you and Dr. Randall hard, and I'd hate to get away with just this little write-up here.
Okay. The purpose of the Holsworth Center is basically focuses on leadership development. One of the things that we're going to do with this piece is combine it with the organizational audit and give us a lot of information as to the direction and where we want to go in the future with not just identifying potential leadership, but hiring leaders and developing them when they come into our district. So how is the Holsworth Center different from other initiatives? It is probably unique in the United States at this time. It is comparable in funding only to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They have a full leadership team that begins working with the district on developing our capacity in this particular area. They believe in systemic change, developing a culture that fosters strong leaders, and then it is a 5-year program. It's long-term. The districts chosen for this inaugural year were very unique. They were selected out of the entire state. Only 27 were actually invited to even apply. And then after filling out the application, you went through a very lengthy vetting process, a visit to the district. And then these are the 7 districts that were selected for participation. The founder of this is, of course, Charles Butt. This is one of his key quotes and fundamental beliefs is that the root of long-term sustainable improvement has to do with going deep and developing leaders within public school education. He is a huge supporter of Texas public schools, much as Warren Buffett is in the state of Nebraska, and has donated over $100 million of his personal fortune just for the Holsworth Fund. Members of the board vary, and it's really interesting to look at the profile, the tapestry of leaders throughout the United States, both in education, business, and industry, and even in the highest levels of government office, to serve on the board and direct the work. Dr. Ruth Simmons is the chairman of the board, the former president of Brown University. Secretary Robert Gates, he's the current chancellor at the College of William and Mary, and of course the former Secretary of Defense, also serves on the board. Preston Guerin, President and CEO of the Sid Richardson Foundation, former Congressman and Secretary of the United States Army, and the list goes on and on of people that Charles Butts was able to bring together for the Holsworth Center in his strong fundamental belief in public education in the state of Texas. What the center provides us are 4 key areas of emphasis in personal leadership. This helps leaders develop their own capacity, and one of those is basically having a growth mindset. So we spent a week in Austin going through some of those key characteristics, and we have a special gift to the board to add to your reading material from the operations audit, if you would like to peruse it on the growth mindset. Campus leadership is the second fundamental piece that they work with, and then there's a support team that the Holsworth Center provides throughout the 5 years to create sustainable change. These are a few photos from Singapore, and the question on the table when we went to visit is, how does the #1 country in the world achieve those results? They're #1 on the PISA, on TIMSS, on almost every international measure. Singapore in land mass is smaller than LCISD. However, they serve 500,000 students in that very small area of land. 50 years ago, Singapore was a third world country ridden with poverty. Probably almost 98% of the country was living in poverty. And in 50 years, because of a belief in developing leadership and strong public education, they have risen to one of the key financial centers, safe centers in the world. While we were there, we were able to visit the Institute of Technical Education. Very impressive boardrooms. The cost of education, and Ms. Lovewood will probably appreciate this, is second only to national defense. So they spend an inordinate amount of money because people are the only resources the island has. In the visit of technical education, we got to visit with leaders and hear from them how they developed it, what they believe in the island of Singapore. This is a picture of their high school for the Institute of Technology. It is incredible. Each floor is donated to a different key area, and when students leave there, the expectation is they are work ready. In this photograph, they actually purchase from other countries Boeings, jets, etc., and so when they go into aircraft maintenance, they are actually working on the aircraft. They even purchased one just for flight attendants to learn and to certify on how to be flight attendants. It was an incredible experience to get to see teenagers working on these in the most professional manner imaginable. This is, and yes, that is an alcoholic beverage in there. This is the restaurant that they're created by their culinary arts programs. They are mock-ups and authentic in every way that you would find in any restaurant that you would walk into in the United States. In this piece, what they worked with us on is recruitment, the importance of recruitment. And the visit while we were there was an experience in visiting with leaders in recruiting, such as some of the individuals we presented tonight, and developing leaders to form strong public school foundation. These are just a few snapshots of the leaders. They opened their hearts, they opened their country to us, and they wanted to learn from us as well. It was an amazing experience and a wonderful way to kick off our relationship with the Holsworth Center. We'll be giving periodic updates. Our next visit is to Canada in October to visit some of their key schools and absorb. We'll be folding all of that information into our leadership audit, which we're getting ready to engage in with the center, and then begin developing our plans and how we want to proceed to be one of the top-tier school districts in the nation. We feel like they've given us all of the tools. All we need now is some time to put those tools to work. And I had to share this picture. I was so proud to be in attendance with our superintendent. He doesn't say much, but as we sat around this circle, every now and then one of them would say, one of the other districts would say, I think Wise Thomas is going to say something. It was a privilege to be there representing our school district, and I thank you from all of us on the cabinet and throughout our district for supporting this opportunity for us. We have a special book, some reading material for you if you would like to participate with us in some of the studies we're doing with the Holsworth Center. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting. Very exciting.
She wasn't kidding.
I'll get to that right after I read that.
Maybe you should interchange it.
Thank you. All right, we have no item for closed session, so we will move down to future agenda items. Anything any of the board members would like to include in the future meetings we haven't? All right, are there upcoming meeting and events that we need to know about that are not already on our radar?
Just a lot of things. Well, we have new teacher breakfasts, convocation, new teacher dinner, and
Summer
graduation.
Graduation.
And the Project Learn,
Yes, Project
Grow.
Grow, Project Grow.
Project Grow. Which
Location
is,
to be determined yet, last.
yes. So,
You guys are good.
well, I got to keep my calendar straight this time of year.
All right, anything else to bring before the board? If not, we stand adjourned at 7:12. Thank you for all your work, board members.